Welcome to the best day of your life.
It is? Tell me why it's the best day. Is it the best day of my life?
Of everyone's life, because this is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's episode 50 of the Tennis Podcast.
Hooray. But what does that mean?
That means that we've made it a year, pretty much. Give or take a week or two.
Yeah.
We've made it a year, Brandon.
We haven't murdered each other.
Well,
I just picked up some tips on how to do it in episode 49.
No, you gave some tips, some very bad tips of how to do it.
I picked up my preferred method of dispatching of you.
Let's hear it.
Feed you to a pig.
We did not cover that in episode 49. But we did cover every other way Americans love to murder people. But Brandon, why don't we introduce ourselves here real quick?
I'm Brandon. I can be found on Twitter at Sidekick Host.
That's very true. And my name is Nick Amel. I am the host of the show. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_EMEL. And this is the show. It's called the Tennis Podcast, and it's called that because we just love to bring lists to each other. And one of us brings a researched top 10-ish list of fun facts and other things, and the other one tries to guess without any sort of heads up of what that list is. And today, on the big episode 50, the person who brought the list is your boy, the master of ceremonies, the ring master.
Whatever.
I brought my top 10 list. I got plenty of hashtag Nick's notes. And I let you know ahead of time, Brando, that this would be a surprise topic today. Which it's always a surprise, so maybe that's a redundant thing to say.
Would it be shocking?
Today we're going to be talking about the most popular top 10-ish lists to date.
Our most popular lists?
Yeah.
This is just sniffing our socks.
Well, okay, that's what I wanted to address at the top. We're not sniffing our socks here. We're not saying we're so popular. What we're saying is these are the topics, the lists that the people that like lists, which are our listeners, find most interesting. Because if you're a listener of the show, we hope you listen to every episode, but we know not all of you do.
You're not going to do that.
You don't want to do that, but we hope you'll do it. So people pick and choose our episodes based on list topics that interest them most. So I thought it would be interesting to see which topics we've covered resonate most with our listeners. Doesn't that sound interesting?
It sounds great, but how has this been measured?
I measured it based on downloads, the number of downloads that our episodes have gotten to date. I have ranked those, but I don't have just that. I also have, in every episode we release, I write up a little synopsis of the episode. So pretty much every podcast does this. Any podcast you listen to, if in your podcast feed, they usually have a little description or synopsis of what the episode's about. I do that every time, and I kind of highlight the talking points of the episode. And so I've picked out some of the more random keywords from each synopsis to kind of jog your memory on the shit we've talked about. And you'll see what I mean when we get to one. I also have the number of downloads per episode, and then who brought the list. And so we're also going to have a competition here and keep track of who brought the more popular list topics.
Okay. I know it's me.
Is this too sock sniffing for you?
It's really sock sniffing, but I'm ready to sniff our socks together. I'm ready to roll a moist sweat sock down our ankles and pull it. Like it stretches before it finally comes off, and then it snaps away from the toes.
Are you done?
Inside out, stinky, and I'm ready for us to each lift one to our noses and inhale deeply, and then exhale in edutainment.
I wonder if that Twitter follower that said Brandon has a sexy voice still feels that way after the last 30 seconds.
Nope.
Oh, before we get started, I have a few interesting stats here. First, I'm going to ask you, what do you think the most used podcast app is among our listeners?
Stitcher.
Not even close, you fucking idiot.
Oh, is it the iTunes app?
No.
Is it Overcast?
Nope.
Well, I don't know then.
It's Spotify. Spotify is new in the podcasting arena.
Yeah.
But I guess because they're so widely used on the music scene, people just like them for podcasts. So shout out to our Spotify listeners. And one more note here is that we're recording today's episode on the day that episode 49 was released. In other words, episode 49 hasn't really had a chance to make it on this list yet because it's only a few hours old by this point.
But it might eventually.
But it might. Yeah, it might eventually, but not today. So why don't you give me a list? What are the top 10 topics that our listeners have found most interesting so far? And if you need, you can pull up a list of our past episodes to kind of
I'm way ahead
remind
of you.
yourself.
I had to do that.
So let's hear it. Give me a guess.
I'm going to guess that the worst presidents or the least popular presidents cracked the top 10.
First, tell me your rationale for that guess, and then where you would predict it is in the top 10.
Because I don't think there's a lot of content out there on... I think there's a lot of history content. I think there's a lot of content on presidents and current politics, but I don't think there is content specifically calling out the crappiest presidents. And that's kind of titillating. Usually we cover the top 10 best things.
No, not on this show, we don't. But it's funny how current U.S. politics and current U.S. history kind of correlates pretty well with worst presidents in U.S. history, huh?
It sure does.
Episode 33 was where we covered the top 10 worst presidents in U.S. history.
I'm guessing it's number 7.
It's number... What the fuck? It is number 7.
Yes.
How...
I'm not going to answer how I did it because... Well, I guess I will answer.
Are you peeking at our stats?
No, I don't know where to find those stats.
Okay.
No, I just used...
Yeah,
Look, I have a really good brain, and I've said a lot of things.
Well, you don't have a good brain, and you've said no good things.
That's a quote from the number 1 on the worst presidents list. He says, well, I ask myself, because I've got a good brain, and I've said a lot of things.
Is that a quote?
That's a quote from Donald Trump in who he would ask for advice or who would he consult on foreign policy. He said he would ask himself because he has a good brain and he has said a lot of things.
Shout out to our Trump voters out there that are listening, the 3 of you there. I should have mentioned at the top, but Brandon does not pay attention to our stats at all, so he is going into this list completely blind. And then I looked these stats up this morning, so they're fresh. Episode 33, Worst Presidents, is number 7. Brandon somehow fucking warged into my brain to find that out.
Nailed it.
We released that episode on April 3rd, 2019, and Brandon brought that top 10 list. So Brandon is up 1-0 on the score so far, but don't get too comfortable. We had 22.8 million downloads of that episode.
Whoa. Like 8% of the U.S. population?
Right. 22.8 million downloads. It's just number 7. And some keywords I pulled out from the synopsis include crude oil and flowers, doughy-faced president. Who are we talking about there? Is that Trump?
There are several doughy-faced presidents in that list, but no, I since learned that the reason why it might have been Buchanan was referred to as a dough face. A dough face was a term for a politician that was very malleable or even two-faced.
Who do you think the most doughy butt president is of all time?
I mean, it has to be Trump. He's
doughy. I'd say his is more saggy.
Yeah, it definitely has the worst body composition. Like as far as muscle mass versus cellulite.
You know, I wouldn't mind seeing him naked just for the human interest factor.
Well, you know he has a big, really big, round bumble butt.
There's got to be naked pictures of him out there somewhere that someone has over him.
I bet he has like a crazy untamed bush.
Okay, let me ask you something. I want a serious answer here. Do you think, whether they're a supporter of Trump's politics or not, do you think there's anyone out there right now today that is sexually attracted to Donald Trump? There has to be, right?
Yes, I do. And I think it's not purely physical. It has to do with like the cult of personality or power. But no, I don't think anybody...
No, there's someone that's physically attracted to him as well.
Yeah, there's somebody...
Loves that big, doughy, orange bumble butt.
There's somebody gross for everybody.
Yep. Well, speaking of gross for everybody, my last keyword I pulled out from the episode 33 synopsis is thumb twaddlers.
Oh, yeah.
Which president was that referring to?
I don't remember.
Cool.
I don't. I'm glad that this Spotify list is here because... I mean, I couldn't name the most valuable sports franchise, the number 1. Couldn't name it.
Is that? Oh, that's not your guess for
no,
number 1?
No, I guess that should be maybe one of my guesses, but like I can't remember any of the content on that.
The only thing I remember about that is you saying that Bill Belichick looks like a homeless Patriots fan, which is so spot on. Listener of the show, Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. The most valuable sports franchises, which was episode 17, is not in the top 10.
Yeah. We haven't I was thinking about that the other day. We haven't covered many sports because I'm the only one who could, I think, reliably bring a quality list, but you don't have any frame of reference to answer anything.
Consider me offended as fuck. And also, I don't think we have a high percentage of listeners who give a shit about sports either.
Mm-mm.
Which is clear from the numbers. The data supports it.
We got a bunch of inside kids.
Yeah.
Indoor kids.
Give me another guess.
I guess that the most popular Google monsters is in the top 10. I'm guessing it's number 5.
You and your precious Google monsters. Google Monsters, which was let's see. That's episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most Google searched monsters, and it is not in the top 10.
Mother.
Not even close, actually. Only 2 million downloads.
Well, that would have been one of my first downloads. How about the best-selling video game franchises?
That's episode 1. That was our very first episode. Best-selling video games is number 12. Or video game franchises is number 12. But there is another video game list in the top 10.
It's got to be the consoles.
Yeah. Best-selling video game consoles of all time was episode 27, and it's number
3.
8. Best-selling video game consoles of all time. My list, so now we're tied 1-1. That episode was released in February, but we had 12.7 million downloads on this one so far.
What the fuck?
And some keywords from the synopsis are, number 1, Brandon's inflatable family.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first episode where you revealed that your entire family is inflatable.
I have 2 families. One is inflatable, and one is human flesh.
And which one do you like more?
Depends on the day. Depends on who's inflated or not.
Well, the inflatable ones definitely shit less.
There's a lot of fluids flying around this house from small kids.
From the human, let's be clear, from the human flesh family or from the inflatable family?
From the small human kids.
Okay. Because in the inflatable family, the only fluids flying around would be your own, am I right?
Ew, no.
Well,
just
I mean,
spit.
it is.
When you blow them up, you get spit inside.
Okay, just spit. All right.
God bless.
Well, this seems like a good transition to talk about peanut butter fluids.
Is it?
I mean, you tell me.
Go ahead, ask me a dumbass question about peanut butter.
Well, you mentioned spit, saliva, when you're blowing up the inflatable family members.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, do you deflate them as well, like at the end of the night, or do you just leave them inflated?
Kind of like a party balloon. They're just left somewhere in the morning. They're like half deflated and look depressed.
Yeah, I like my family nice and depressed. So you mentioned spit to blow them up. What if peanut butter replaces water in every facet of civilization of the world, then your spit is actually made of peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that affect blowing up inflatable family members? Peanut butter spit, does that add or detract from the time it takes to blow up an inflatable family member? Brandon, your take.
I think it doesn't make a bit of goddamn difference in this fucking...
Hot take from Brandon.
In this ridiculous alternate Earth that you've created, everything is just covered with peanut butter all the time. So there's peanut butter inside the balloon and on the outside of the balloon before I even start blowing it up.
What's so stupid about that? This is the realities of the world as it has evolved in this scenario. There's nothing stupid about it. There's nothing stupid about your spit now.
All the creatures that would roam the peanut butter Earth would be so huge and so strong. It would be the most terrifying planet.
But it wouldn't be terrifying if it had always been that way.
You know what kind of...
It would just be normal.
What kind of heart it takes to pump peanut butter? How big that heart would have to be and strong?
There's no water in your heart, is there?
There's water in blood. Your body is mostly
allegedly.
Water.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that.
Well...
I say that's fake news. Okay, we'll come back to the peanut butter.
Let's not.
Let's not, you said?
I mean, we always do, so why not?
Yeah. The listeners can't get enough. Some other keywords from the video game console episode is Ovaltine. Mm-hmm. And for the life of me, I can't remember what we were talking about.
Call a round teen.
And then the last one, sexual relations with one's game console.
I don't remember that. Do any of the consoles have a...
No, that's when you were talking about having sex with your Xbox. Yeah.
There's no port for that.
Well, we can make any port work, am I right?
There are guys, well maybe women too, but there are guys who are attracted to their cars.
Yeah.
and hump their cars.
Someone out there has had sex with the car, like the fuel. What's that called?
The exhaust pipe.
Well, but then where you put the gas too.
Oh.
Because there's a natural lubricant there.
Ew. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Right. All right. Let's move on. So you got number 8, video game consoles, and number 7, worst presidents.
How about most prolific serial killers?
Before I looked today, that was my guess for top 5.
Yeah.
But it's number 14. Number 14, only 5.3 million downloads.
I guess people aren't tickled by the same things that tickle me.
Well, don't get ahead of yourself. There's something kind of similar in the top 10.
Well, what's going on in the most prolific serial killers?
As far as like keywords?
Yeah, I can see the keywords too.
I don't have that pulled up, but I'll do it now.
No, I'm looking in using severed heads as a form of currency.
I still say it's $1 million idea. $1 million severed head idea.
You brought up the hot dog shit again.
What?
People are still
act like I brought that up.
You did.
No, well, okay. Originally, because you tried to accuse me first.
No, I didn't. I never brought it up.
You bring it up.
Here's what happened. You committed this act. What you have done here is disgusting. And you felt shame?
Well, if you say I felt shame, and I say you felt indigestion from all the hot dogs.
I did not eat the hot dog, and you didn't bring it up in a self-deprecating way to get in front of it. You just completely reversed it and told people that it was... You told people the awful thing you did, but you said it was me. And now random people on Twitter are saying, like, when are you going to admit that you're a pig that eats nasty hot dogs? Well, I'm not going to do that.
Well, we're all wondering, when are you going to do that?
I will not. I have not.
Okay. Well, here's the deal.
Nope.
We have a couple trillion listeners out there. If one of you happens to work security at the Atlanta airport, find us footage from circa 2014, 2015. You'll see Brandon hunched over an open trash can, stuffing a Nathan's hot dog into his mouth like a little fucking goblin, and looking back at me and saying, "Don't you fucking tell anyone." Okay, that part didn't happen, but he definitely ate the hot dog. And if you want to,
like mustard's flying out of my mouth. So you shut the fuck up.
I told you. If you want to pressure Brandon into telling the truth, you can tweet with the hashtag #HotDogBrandon.
Don't. It won't work.
So serial killer's not in the top 10. What do you think is, though?
Star Wars.
Yeah, okay, that's a good guess. See, I don't know if you can tell yet, but you mentioned our listeners are indoor kids. Mm-hmm. A lot of our episodes have to do with kind of...
nerdy shit.
Let's just call it like it is.
Well, I think a lot of indoor kids are listening to podcasts.
Sure. Like we are too. We're not taking anything away from the indoor kids. God knows my ass wasn't doing track in high school. Mm-mm. Although that didn't stop me from telling people I was a skateboarding champion in the 2nd grade, but that's another story. Episode 36 was where we covered the highest grossing Star Wars films, and what number do you think that is?
Number 4.
Number 6, idiot. This was your list, so now you're up 2-1 so far.
Hell yeah.
Star Wars, we did this one in April of 2019.
Explain to the folks at home what Star Wars is.
So Star Wars is where this kid named Luke, and he had some friends.
Some of them were big hairy fellas.
Yeah, big hairy fellas. Chewbacca as well. He's doing his sister, and they would fly around the universe.
He didn't do her, he just Frenched her.
Okay. Well, they're flying around the universe, having fun, stopping bad guys, and then there's this really bad guy in a black suit and a helmet. His name's Darth Vader.
Oh, I thought it was Bobby Bonilla.
His kids are Luke and Leia, so he breaks the news to Luke that he's, he may or may not be into some incest shit. And Luke's like, YOLO. And then they fight. Luke gets his hand cut off. Am I giving spoilers?
Skip to the green juice that came out of Sea Hag.
Okay. That is one of my keywords here is the green milk from a sea.
And slug tits.
A sea cow.
It had slug tits. Oh,
slug tits is my other one.
Slug tits is...
you're looking at my list somehow. You're doing this.
I'm looking at the synopsis on Spotify. And I think slug tits had more to do with the female Hutt, Jabba's bride.
For sure.
Remember, I showed you a picture and she had kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
Hutt boobies.
Hell of an ass, too. Mm-hmm. So we got slug tits. Luke as an adult in... Luke, what was the last one? Return of the Jedi?
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, yeah.
Yeah.
You and I saw that one, and that's the one where Luke gets some green milk Mountain Dew looking shit. He just squeezes it casually like it's the most normal fucking thing in the world. Like, I need my breakfast, I need my eggs, I need my morning coffee, I need my Sea Cow green Mountain Dew out of the Sea Cow tit. And he just goes, sucks it out into a little, like a Starbucks looking reusable cup, and then fucking just chugs it down, looks at the camera, and just wipes his mouth and goes, and I ask you still, I'm baffled to this day. If not to be funny, what was the point of that?
It's to show he had what it takes to survive on his own. He didn't need any frills.
Sure.
He could just live off this sea hag milk.
Listen, let's get back on track.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me your one sentence synopsis of the entire Star Wars franchise. If you're trying to sell someone who never seen it, never even heard of it.
It's the Civil War in space with Ninja Turtle villains everywhere.
I can dig it. Give me another guess.
Well, now I've run out of the guesses that I wrote down ahead of time. So now I'm going to have to really think here. Deadliest Animals.
Deadliest Animals is number, let's see.
I haven't even guessed one in the top 5.
Number 22 is Deadliest Animals.
How about...
I think number 1 will surprise you.
Deadliest Jobs.
Deadliest Jobs is way down at 28.
Fuck.
But there's something death related in the top 10.
Not Deadliest Jobs.
No.
What about, let me switch gears. What about the FBI's Most Wanted?
That's the one I was talking about as death related. Because a lot of the FBI's Most Wanted.
Yeah, they're
killed
murderers.
Yeah. What number do you think that one is?
Number 4.
Close, it's number 3.
There's another one for me.
Yep, that's a Brandon list. That was episode 28 for us. FBI's Most Wanted Fugitives as of February 2019. And that episode has 444 million downloads so far. Keywords from the synopsis include butt crimes. How many butt crimes have you committed, Brandon? So far.
Wait, what? Butt crimes?
Yeah, butt crimes.
What could we possibly been talking about?
Ways in which your butt could get you in so much trouble you get on the FBI's Most Wanted list, I guess.
God.
What would your butt have to do to earn you a spot on FBI's Most Wanted Fugitives?
Is there a gun that is fired from the butt?
I mean, if you squeeze hard enough, I'm sure you could fire.
If you smothered someone to death with your butt.
Yeah. You'd have to do it several times to get on the top 10 Most Wanted.
Right.
Other keywords were dentists as undercover spies. And I actually remember you told a story about like a drug warlord in Mexico who killed a dentist who was on vacation who he had thought was an undercover spy.
Yeah, they walked into the wrong room and they said like, oh, you're working with the government. And like, no, man, that's not me. And I said like, well, that's exactly what someone who worked for the government would say. Let's hook up a pair of pliers to your nips.
Oh, not in a fun way either. I got a murder in a Dunkin' Donuts on my keyword list.
Yeah, one of those guys murdered his girlfriend at Dunkin' Donuts.
And they worked together. It's on camera. Yeah.
Well, the murder I don't think is on camera, but like the camera captured right before and right after, and then he bugged the fuck out of there.
What are the odds that he moved her out of the way just enough to not get on camera? Like, he had to do that on purpose, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
But then what's even the point if it's so obvious you did it anyway?
I mean, that's what I found out of most crimes, is that they're committed by criminals, and most criminals don't think about that stuff. I don't think most criminals think about like the consequences of their actions until well after.
I think most criminals only think about me.
Yeah, buttholes.
Yeah, a bunch of...
Selfish.
You're selfish out there. If you're on the FBI's Most Wanted list, you're selfish. So we have 2 for Brandon. No, 3 for Brandon so far and 1 for Nick. But we're far from over here. Give me one more guess.
Wealthiest people.
Wealthiest people is number 13.
The most Googled people of 2018?
That's number 19.
God. How about some of these that aren't like favorite Christmas movies? It's not a fact-based, it's opinion-based. Is that in the top 10?
There is something opinion-based in the top 10, but the one you mentioned is actually way down.
The one that is opinion-based in the top 10.
There's 2.
Is it Wait a second. Change gears here. Is most common workplace injuries in the top 10?
No. Look at you. You're just guessing yours. You're selfish. You should be on FBI's most wanted list for only thinking about your own top 10-ish lists. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, these are the ones I know it would be popular among people who like to listen to things. What about the Q&A episode?
We have 2 of those, and no, neither are in the top 10.
What about Seinfeld?
Seinfeld's in the top 10.
Is it number 2?
It's number 4. So we both get 1 on this since we both brought list items to this episode.
I'm still winning.
Okay, for now. Episode 32, we covered our favorite Seinfeld characters, moments, quotes, and more. Came out in March 2019. It has 228.3 million downloads so far. Keywords from the synopsis include spanking oneself in excitement. I believe we were talking about you couldn't stop spanking yourself during the episode.
I don't remember how I got to that.
Kind of like how it's like slapping a horse to get it to go faster.
Right. You were giddying up myself.
Nah, we couldn't get you under control. Speaking of spanking, the next bullet from my keywords is humans with detachable butts. God. What would be the benefits of a detachable butt? Let's go through the benefits, the pros first, and then we'll hit the cons. Here's one pro.
Can you switch out your butt depending on the occasion?
Sure. If you want big booty butt for a hot date, you could slap that on there. Mm-hmm. If you want to...
A hairy butt for when it's cold outside.
Hairy butt for when it's cold outside. If you want a nice smooth butt for when you're swimming. But, I mean, how much are these butts? I mean, is it kind of like an organ donor where you die, you donate your butt, and then they store them? So, I mean, these might be in kind of high demand.
Like a storage locker full of frozen butts?
Well, they don't have to be frozen. Well, they might have to.
You got to keep a butt fresh.
Yeah. You know, if you didn't feel like bathing one day, you could just take your butt off for the day. Walk around without, don't have to wash your butt. Just walk around without a butt.
Assless.
Assless chaps.
Well, who are the characters that we forgot about? I mean, on Seinfeld.
Do you want me to go listen to it real quick and come back in 2 hours?
Well, I mean, we forgot about them, so it's hard to remember them now.
Okay,
I think what we're mostly learning is I don't remember anything from the last year.
No. You're like a famous musician who has checked out. You just show up to do your gig. You don't prep ahead of time. You don't reflect after you show up. You do your gig, you get paid, you leave. That's you with this podcast.
I'm Billy Joel.
You're Billy Joel, yeah. Not quite as good looking, though. My last keyword here is stopping short. What does that make you think of, Brandon?
I stopped short.
Thank you.
That's Frank's move.
That's Frank's move, yeah.
You stop short and make a grab. Make a grab.
But, I mean, it got Estelle. Estelle was very flattered.
Well, yeah.
But before you give me another guess, I asked our listeners on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to tell us their favorite fun facts they've learned from listening to our show in the past 50 episodes. Mm-hmm. Every time you and I bring a top 10 list, we always have like little research and anecdotes and fun facts throughout the episode. We always learn something on the show. That's why we're called edutainment.
Right.
Sometimes detainment is lacking, like in your list.
Detainment.
We asked our listeners to share their favorites, and at the end of this, I'm going to randomly choose someone who submitted one to win a free t-shirt, and I'll reveal that at the end. So let's go through a few here. A podcast about something on Twitter has 2. That Atlanta airport trash can hot dogs are the best hot dogs.
I wouldn't know.
I think we found the person who actually ate the hot dog. And then they said, Bill Cosby doesn't like The Simpsons and thinks it teaches poor moral values.
Yeah.
That was in our 90s cartoons episode.
What I heard during the Bill Cosby stuff was that the worst thing about it was the hypocrisy.
Okay.
But I think the worst thing about it might have been all the rape.
Well, we're all entitled to our opinions.
Yeah, he raped a bunch of people, but god damn, he's a hypocrite on top of it.
Yeah, what an asshole he turned out to be. I remember reading all these, before this all came out, I remember reading all these inspirational quotes that Bill Cosby said about, like, being a responsible, member of society and...
Pulling your pants. He was always getting on young black men to turn their hat around and pull their pants up.
Yeah, he saw himself, and a lot of people saw him as kind of like the ideal black man, which
Well,
not saying
he
that's
called
true or not true. I'm just saying that's a perception.
He tweeted recently, it was like within the same couple days, O.J. Simpson and Cosby tweeted. And people were like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And Bill Cosby, I swear, he started out his tweet with something like referring to himself as America's dad.
Wait, is this after the
Yeah,
accusations?
this was like within the last month or two.
It is truly amazing how, because you know that he, in his opinion, he's not lying about this stuff. This is how he sees himself. He thinks that all these people trying to ruin my career and image with these rape accusations, they could just let it go and let me be America's dad again. But talk about a legacy forever ruined, and for good reason. So let's read some more here. We got the real Joey Gallo on Instagram, who says his favorite fun fact is that humans are more deadly and sometimes more annoying than mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was my fun fact. I'll claim it.
Well, Bill Cosby was as well, and then the fun fact about you eating the hot dog over the Atlanta trash
I didn't
can.
do that.
So far, all the fun facts are yours.
Wrong. Fun
And
fact.
I can feel the world getting smaller because of your head taking up more space by the second, by getting bigger and bigger.
Inflating.
Brian F. on Twitter said his favorite fun fact is that killing baby Hitler is a more complicated undertaking. And if you're going to accept said time travel mission, consider a stop at Mariah Carey's house around Christmas time.
I can't remember. Why is it hard to kill baby Hitler?
Because you're killing a baby.
Nah. You'd have to take some pictures, print out some pictures of the Holocaust or of the beaches, the cemetery in Normandy. You have to print out some of those pictures and take them. Well, I guess if you travel back in time like the Terminator, you have to go naked. Didn't we talk about that?
Well,
you got to go buck naked. And so you can't take pictures unless maybe you smuggle them up here. That's what you got to do. You got to take pictures of the Holocaust with you, print them out, and laminate them, and then smuggle them up your butt.
you have to, huh?
And then when you arrive in, I don't know, what is it, like 1898 or whatever, nude, just like the Terminator, you retrieve the pictures from your ass, hunt down baby Hitler, and then if you have a moment of doubt, you just refer to your ass pictures to inspire you to choke the life out of a little baby.
Everyone write that down. Take a look at your ass pictures to inspire you.
The pictures you've smuggled in your ass.
Yeah, no, I got it.
I originally had a goal of mentioning Hitler in every episode, but it's hard to work Hitler into video game franchises.
If you're a noob, maybe. I just got to say, first you got to time travel, come out on the other side naked with pictures smothered in your ass.
To inspire you if you forget why you're there.
Well, if your clothes disappear during time travel, wouldn't the pictures disintegrate too?
No, they're inside your butt.
Okay. And then you got to find your way to Austria.
No, they just got to put you there.
Okay, they.
He was born April 20th. So what age do you think it's best to attack a baby? The younger the better, right?
First of all, I don't know if I could do it.
You got to. Look what's on the line.
Consider this. The very fact that you've time traveled, doesn't that open up an alternate timeline?
Oh, like in Endgame?
Yeah, I love Endgame. Saw it. But doesn't that open an alternate timeline to where the very fact that you're there has butterfly effects, to where maybe this version of baby Hitler won't grow up to be the same Hitler that we know? It's possible.
Sure, I'm not taking any chances.
Keep your babies close, listeners.
Yeah, if I get a whiff of fascism on a baby, I'm coming at you.
Remember when you said you'd rip a baby's face off to get the bread behind it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ken H. on Facebook says that he liked learning about how they went through 60 plus doors while filming the famous Here's Johnny scene in The Shining.
Yeah.
That's another coup in your cap, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to think about Jack Nicholson's blood being made completely from peanut butter. Hashtag hot dog Brandon.
It may be made from Italian dressing from when I saw him eating that sub sandwich on a boat with his gut hanging out, surrounded by models.
Well, either way, you're guaranteed a hell of a time with Jack Nicholson and Kent. I mean, it's hard to not pick him for the t-shirt with that hashtag.
Is Jack Nicholson in the top 10?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to read one more fun fact thing here, and then we'll get back to the top 10. Moon Goddess 422 on Twitter says that I thought I could name all the serial killers on the list of top serial killers, but was shocked that I had never heard of half of them. I never knew the short amount of time it took Bundy to kill/beat up his Florida victims and that nobody heard. I thought he was in there for hours. She's referring to some of Bundy's last kills where he had broken out of prison again.
The Chi Omega house.
Yeah, he went to a sorority house in Florida and injured or killed several, 3 or 4 or 5 college students there.
I think he killed 2. So let's see.
And he did it all in a matter of minutes, and no one else in the house heard or knew until later. He entered
the sorority house through a rear door with a faulty locking mechanism. Beginning about 2:45 a.m., he bludgeoned Margaret Bowman with a piece of oak firewood. That's similar to how Joseph James D'Angelo killed Janelle Cruz in his last confirmed murder. He beat her with a piece of firewood.
It's the Golden State Killer.
Yeah. Then he choked or garroted her with a nylon stocking. Then he beat 20-year-old Lisa Levy unconscious, strangled her, tore one of her nipples, bit into her left buttock, sexually assaulted her with a... Okay, well, I'm going to stop there. But
yeah, just stop there. Moon Goddess 422 did not...
He went bananas. 4 attacks took place in a total of less than 15 minutes.
It's fucking insane.
It really
is.
Bananas.
One of the attacks was where he bit one of the ladies on the buttocks, and that bite mark is what imprisoned him. Ironically, because I don't know if that would stand up in court today, that specific thing, but at the time, that was enough to convict him.
He got the chair.
He got the chair, and not the lazy boy chair. Let's get back to the top 10. Give me some more guesses. And I'm going to read more of those fun facts from listeners later, by the way. So if you're wondering why I haven't read yours yet. But the top 10. So you have number 8, which is video game consoles, 7 worst presidents, 6 Star Wars, 4 Seinfeld, and 3 FBI's Most Wanted.
Most popular 90s songs.
Where would you guess that is?
Number 2.
Number 1, cheater.
I wasn't cheating.
Number 1 was our top 10 most popular 90s songs on Spotify today. It was episode 31, released on March 20th of this year. 63.2 billion downloads to date.
Where are these fucking numbers coming from?
I'm just reading the stats. So my keywords here were pills delivered in a red Christmas sleigh. That I believe that's referring to Mariah Carey's music video for All I Want for Christmas, which is what Brian on Twitter was referencing a minute ago.
Oh, all she wants for Christmas is a bunch of pills.
Right. Yeah. We also have the Whoopi Goldberg watch. And
Whoopi watch. Yeah, she's okay now. She made it back. Earlier this year, it was touch and go for Whoopi, but she's back.
Yeah, we finagled that into like a wristwatch. A branded Whoopi wristwatch.
The wristband are her hair braids.
That's right. See, you do remember some things. And my last keyword is metal music and Peter Pan. And I can't for the life of me recall what that is about.
Peter Pan?
Peter Pan. So yeah, I think Peter Pan likes metal.
I can't imagine what Peter Pan was about.
He likes metal music. Well, you're leading so far because you have, 4 lists to my 2? However, Nick has the number 1 list, so I think I win. Right?
Whatever. No, I don't think that's... I disagree.
Not what the numbers say. 63.2 billion people.
What about most common phobias?
Yeah, that's on here.
Is it number 2?
It's number 2.
I knew it.
Okay.
Are you
I don't know
scared?
what witchcraft. I don't know who you sold your soul to see through my eyes at my computer screen of notes.
I leased my soul.
Okay. To who?
Satan.
How's he doing?
He's in year 2 of 3 on this lease. He's limited to 30,000 miles, and he's running them up fast.
Shout out to Satan, listener of the show. Most common phobias is number 2. We released that in March of this year. It has 2.5 billion downloads so far.
That was my list, wasn't it?
It was your list, but number 2, Brandon. Number 1 was Nick's. Number 1 was Nick's. Number 2. So on your list, on your notepad, listeners, you can just go ahead and put number 1, Nick. Number 2, Brandon. Keywords from the most common phobias episode include a love triangle with Harry Potter and SpongeBob. God, that sounds hot.
Fear of pickles.
A well-placed booty clap.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that came from you.
Yeah.
You said that if a well-placed booty clap could replicate the fear of thunder.
Right.
Because, you get it. A booty clap could sound like thunder. You gotta have, at the detachable butt store, I'm sure there are butts specifically.
You can take one home and make it clap for yourself.
Yeah. Imagine going to like a opera or some upscale Broadway show, and instead of clapping with your hands, you just pull out a detachable butt out of your bag, set it on the chair with you, just let it start clapping its ass off, literally. You don't even have to clap. Just let your detachable butt do it for you.
I'm still reading. We covered a lot in that episode.
Getting paid to bathe with snakes was my next, because I'd asked you, fear of snakes was in the top 10, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd asked you how much would I have to pay you to take a bath with a bunch of snakes. Do you remember your answer? Because I don't.
No, but I'll give you a different answer right now.
Let's hear it.
Is it a bath full of water, or is it just a tub full of snakes?
A tub full of water or peanut butter, am I right? But I'll spare you. A bath full of just wiggling, live, aggressive snakes.
They are aggressive?
I think we said they're defanged, so they can't bite you. So it's more so just like the creeped out factor. So like these snakes can't hurt you, but it would still be really hard to just sit there and let them crawl all over you for an hour or however long.
Oh. And just because they're defanged doesn't mean that they're not going to try to bite you and stick their weird, gross little mouths on you.
Well, you say weird and gross, I say come on over.
And they eat horrible stuff, so their breath and their shit has got to stink.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be much worse than you. I mean, maybe we got to pay these snakes to take a bath with you.
How much would I do it? How long do I got to lay in there?
And you are naked, and we'll say 1 hour.
Oh my God.
I'll start the bidding. $10,000. Okay. I have to say, if I had assurance that these snakes could not hurt me, and there was $10,000 cash sitting in a briefcase right there, untaxed.
Yeah, I'm pretty tempted.
Yeah, I might have to do it.
Less than that, I'm starting to wonder about like my mental health, nightmares.
Yeah.
And post-traumatic snake disorder. Yeah, I guess I'd have to go 10. I'll go 9,999.
So 9,998 is right there. You won't do it?
Mm-mm.
You're full of shit.
I've drawn a line in the sand.
Give me another guess. You just need 5, 9, and 10.
What about the best presidents?
Best presidents is not in the top 10. It is number 21. It's interesting that worst presidents is in the top 10, but best is not.
And you said most popular comic book characters is not?
No, that's not in the top 10.
What about most popular 80s songs?
Yeah, that's number 9. Most popular 80s songs on Spotify. In the top 10, we have both of our Spotify songs episodes. So we'll have to do another one of those someday. Maybe 70 songs, 2000 songs, I don't know.
I'd have a lot better luck with 70s than a decade in which I was a young adult.
Young adult in quotes, right? But we had 9.1 million downloads so far. My synopsis keywords are your dad's ringtone, which I believe is Don't Stop Believin'.
It was at some point. I might have changed.
Brandon sings about wieners, and that's where you replaced the words of that Journey song with big fat wieners, remember?
Yeah, except I think it might be Faithfully. Is it? I think I might have gotten the song wrong. I might have said it was one song, but I think it is actually...
Well, you sang it.
Huh?
You sang it.
Right. I think I might have... Is the song Faithfully?
I don't remember.
Well, the song...
I have no faith in my answer to you on that.
It's got to be Faithfully, but Faithfully is the bitch ass wiener song.
Bitch ass wieners. Mm-hmm. Which means nothing, by the way. Bitch ass wieners? What? That's just 3 words put together.
It just goes together.
Sure, like peanut butter and water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me another guess. You just need 10 and 5.
I'm thinking.
I think it'll take you a while to get these, actually. So I might give you hints.
Give me a hint on 10.
Nerd shit.
Most popular cartoon shows.
No. At the time we're recording this, that was released 1 week ago, and it is not in the top 10 yet, but I can tell it will be in a few more weeks.
It's not comic books?
No. Those are both climbing, but not in the top 10. 10 is an opinion episode.
And the other one is, what you said, the other one is nerd shit?
The opinion and nerd shit is the same episode.
Oh. Favorite books?
Yeah. Favorite books is number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 35, our favorite books, which included discussion on famous books, authors, history of books, etc. We released that in April 2019. It's our lowest in the top 10 with only 3.9 million downloads. Kind of a bad week for us.
The joke's on all of them because I'm not that well read.
No, I mean, you are very read from spanking yourself all the time.
Oh my God.
But not. Keywords include blasting bunny noises. Do you know what that's from?
That's Hunter Thompson playing the death screams of rabbits for Jack Nicholson and his family.
Yep. That's the second time we've mentioned Jack Nicholson today, and he's not even in the top 10. Swastika nipples.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
That's from The Dark Knight Returns, the animated Batman film.
Mm-hmm. And then we have, quote, nutritious shit. What's that?
Koala bear.
Look at you. Your memory hasn't gone yet.
Mm-mm. Well, I mean, when it's about stuff like this.
And my last keyword is LeVar Burton. Who's that?
He's the Reading Rainbow. He introduced the Reading Rainbow.
Brandon, I'm glad we could exercise your frail old mind on this episode.
I'm back, baby.
Since that was an opinion list, we both brought the list on that. So right now, we have one guest left. We're at...
You have 5.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Which is more than 10 since we both got points for some of those. So it's
Right.
6-5.
So this last one is going to make or break it.
It's going to either make us tie or make you win.
Is it the largest military forces?
No.
Most watched TV series finales?
No.
Highest budget horror films?
No.
Popular dog breeds?
No.
Smartest dog breeds?
No.
Popular Halloween costumes?
No.
Fucking tell me.
This is food related.
Largest restaurant chains?
No.
Cereal.
It's America's favorite breakfast cereals.
Favorite cereals.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Number 5. So we're tied, because that was your list.
We're tied, 6 each. America's favorite breakfast cereals is based on cereal sales in America. It's number 20. It's episode 29 in our catalog. 113.1 million downloads. Keywords from the synopsis include Steve Urkel cereal, which sounds like fucking horror film.
Urkelos.
Toilet trees, as in toilet space trees. I don't recall what that's about. And then the scary and insane frog from Honey Smacks.
Oh, yeah.
He does look like a killer, doesn't he?
I'm looking him up right now. I'm going to describe him to you. Honey Smacks Frog.
You're going to describe him to me?
To tell the folks at home what the Honey Smacks Frog looks like.
I just told you, scary and insane.
First of all, he has a hat on, a baseball cap on, and it is sideways.
Well, first of all, he's a frog wearing a hat?
Yeah.
That's fucking silly.
He's dressed like an urban youth. He has his hat pointing not to the front or the back, but the bill is pointed to his left side.
Don't tell Bill Cosby.
He's wearing a t-shirt that says, dig 'em.
Oh, shit. He means dig your grave after he fucking kills you.
He has a wide, gaping, toothless smile and deep set, yellow, vacant eyes. And something about his large, toothless mouth opening and inviting you.
Yeah, to dig in.
To dig in. To dig 'em.
No, he's telling you to dig in. And if you don't, well, your eyes will be just as vacant as his.
There will be punishment. Yeah, and the picture on the front of Urkelos is the picture of Urkel looking like an asshole. And Urkelos look like they are made of strawberry and banana artificially flavored. This box of Urkel's comes with a game on the back. Help Urkel find Laura.
Oh, fuck me. Just fucking kill me right now.
I think, didn't he kind of like sexually harass Laura for multiple seasons?
You mean like on the show?
She said, "I'm not interested in you, Steve." And he was like, he even said one of his catchphrases was, "I'm wearing you down, baby."
Well, this is in the early 90s when sexual harassment was funny.
Yeah, he used to be really silly.
So you got it. You got the top 10 favorite lists of our listeners so far.
I did it.
You sort of did it. But before I go back through the top 10, I have a really important announcement.
Uh-oh. Get ready. Buckle up.
Brandon and myself, pleased. We're pumped. We're thrilled. We're ecstatic. We're horny. We're aroused. We're Randy.
Agitated.
We're aggressive. We're what else? We are angrily excited to announce the launch of our Patreon. Give us, but launching noises. We've been asked about this for a while, but we're finally launching our Patreon. By the time you're hearing this, it is live at patreon.com/tennispod. That's patreon.com/10ishpod. Go there, and for just $3 a month, we have one plan. It's $3 a month. You will get a monthly bonus episode from Brandon and I.
At least
once a month. These are going to be kind of, how would we describe these? Like not formatted the same. These are going to be kind of bonus episodes that we would want to do that kind of fall outside of top 10 lists. Like, for example, the first bonus episode that will be live by the time you hear this is what, Brandon? What are we going to do?
We're going to play a game that I think has been played in has many different names, like Two Truths and a Lie. The Tell 'em Steve Dave crew called the game 1 True 3. We're going to play a version of that in our first bonus episode. And the framework, the shape of the bonus episodes, as Nick was saying, will be different. And I'm very excited for it because it's a place to be creative and try some things that don't fit within the format of our normal episode. I have a lot of exciting ideas for this. For instance, I have an idea to locate a copy of Left Behind.
Oh my God.
And read aloud for both of us to comment on the initial book in the Left Behind series.
That is an amazing idea. We should do that with Animorphs too. Like Brandon was saying, I mean, some of these bonus episodes will have us, it will have guest hosts. I've thought of some ideas too, like I want to review some Stephen King books. I want to do a live watch of a Seinfeld episode that our listeners choose, and then we comment on it in real time. We can review some of our favorite series that are out like now, like Handmaid's Tale, some others, and then play games, like you said. So yeah, at least once a month, you're going to get bonus episodes on stuff like this. You will also get, as a Tennis patron, you will get early access to new episodes when available. You'll get a 20% lifetime discount at our merch store. So as long as you're a patron, you will get 20% off our shirts and mugs, whatever else. You will get a signing bonus. So as soon as you sign up, within the first month, you're going to get free swag and merch, shirts, stickers, mugs, coasters, you name it. Within your first month, you're going to get one shipped to you. You'll get continual merch and swag on a quarterly basis and more. So all you got to do is pay $3 a month at patreon.com/tennispod. And you can do that right now and get instant access to our first bonus episode.
How much is it again?
$1, $2, $3 per month.
A measly sum.
For less than the price of an airport hot dog, you get all I said and more. Monthly bonus episodes, 20% discount at our store, free merch and swag, and more. Patreon.com/tennispod. Thank you for indulging our plug, and we hope to see you there. And thank you for supporting the show. You know, I mean, just to be serious for a minute, we're not just doing this to put money in our pocket. We're doing this to help support the show, help us buy upgraded microphone equipment, podcasting equipment, help us provide free merch to our listeners, help us pay our hosting fees for our website and our podcast hosting, etc. So you will be supporting the show by doing this, and you're going to get a bunch of free shit too. So thank you.
Yeah, in my mind, I classify this as a hobby, not a side hustle. I'm not expecting to make. In fact, I've probably spent way more than we've made.
For sure we have, yeah.
It's more about finding out if there's a need or a desire for more content or different content, more creative content. And if there is, that's how you let us know. And that's the reason that we'll put that together.
Yeah, it's going to help us explore new things and help the show grow. So Now let's go back through the top 10. Why don't we?
Do it.
Why don't we, Brandon? Is that all right? Go back through the top 10? Or should we just end now?
One last sniff of our sock.
Okay. Number 10, favorite books. Number 9, most popular 80s songs on Spotify. Number 8, best-selling video game consoles of all time. Number 7, worst presidents in U.S. history. Number 6, highest-grossing Star Wars films. Number 5, America's favorite breakfast cereals. Number 4, our favorite Seinfeld characters, moments, and quotes. Number 3, FBI's most wanted fugitives. Number 2, most common phobias. And number 1, most popular 90s songs on Spotify.
We need more music episodes, I guess.
We need more music episodes and 90s episodes. Quickly climbing the top 10 is 90s cartoon shows.
I'm going to do top 10 songs of the 1890s.
Oh, God, that'll be the end of this podcast. Because we will lose every single subscriber and listener.
I can't even name a song.
63.2 billion of our listeners will be gone. Before we go, we're going to read a few more fun facts submitted by listeners. And then we're also going to tell you who won the free t-shirt. We have @FeatherFiddler on Instagram, who said that I learned that the music video for Thriller features vampires and that Brandon hates trailer hitches.
I do.
That's not really a fun fact, more just an observation.
I hate trailer hitches that are not removed when they're not in use.
Like a detachable butt. Jen M on Facebook said 2 things. 1, not so much a fun fact, but I love hearing the stories about Chewy the dog.
Oh, yeah.
I also learned that Brandon is old.
That's not accurate.
Hey, this is from Jen M on Facebook. I don't have an opinion on this. I am agnostic. I am neutral on Brandon being old.
I bet if we just stood next to each other somewhere. In fact, hasn't it happened where someone wasn't able to guess which one of us was older?
Let's move on. Nothing Ever Happens in Canada @NothingCanada on Instagram. Her favorite fun fact is that Maggie from The Simpsons was named after Marge because they're both short for Margaret. Do you remember when you realized that on our show?
I had forgotten about it and I just realized it all over again.
Yeah. Not Your Real Dads on Twitter. They mentioned Bill Cosby as well. They said, I love that Bill Cosby thought The Simpsons were terrible for society when it was actually him that was terrible for society. Quote, fuck that guy.
I think pretty much let me see if I can find Bill Cosby's most recent tweet. I want to read it. Oh, here's it. It was on June 16th. He said, hey, hey, hey.
Oh my God.
It's America's dad. I know it's late, but to all of the dads, it's an honor to be called a father. So let's make today a renewed oath to fulfilling our purpose, strengthening our families and communities. Hashtag Happy Father's Day. Hashtag renewed oath to our family.
What the tell me the comments. Read a few comments.
Okay. The first comment on here is from Jenny Johnson High Five, who, if you don't follow Jenny Johnson High Five on Twitter, you're fucking up. She's pretty funny. She said, hey, 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 you're not my dad, so go suck your own dick.
Whoa. Hot take.
Becca says, nah, you don't get to call yourself America's dad. You lost that title a long time ago. Oh, in parentheses, someone said, tweeted by my wife because I'm in jail for rape. So let's see what some of his other recent tweets are. Also, Bill Cosby on his birthday shared 1 Corinthians 13:11.
Oh, give me a fucking break.
When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, put away childish things and started raping people.
My favorite Bible verse.
All right, that's enough, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, please, no more Bill Cosby. I have just 2 more to read here. First one is from James H. on Facebook, who says his favorite fun fact was Mustache the War Poodle.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
That's a good one.
I appreciate Mustache too.
Last one is, probably don't even want to read this because it's propaganda, but it's from Jordan Z on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, the fun fact I have learned from the first 49 episodes is how much Nick loves hot dogs. So much love for them. He will caress them softly, sleep with them under his pillow, and even eat them sensually over trash cans. You name it, Nick has done it with hot dogs. Hashtag hot dog Nick.
You found my alt account.
You can see this is like, who was that NBA player that created alt accounts to praise? Was it Kevin Durant?
There's a couple that have done it, but Kevin Durant, yeah, Kevin Durant has gotten caught a couple times with alt accounts trying to defend himself.
God. So we caught you with your Jordan Z account on Instagram. Thank you, everyone who submitted. I didn't get to all of them, but I read a lot of the good ones. And I did randomly select. I put everyone who submitted into an Excel spreadsheet and then randomly selected a winner. I'm proud to announce that Feather Fiddler on Instagram has won a free Tennis Podcast shirt.
A windbreaker?
No, that's for our patrons. Feather Fiddler, I'm going to message you on Instagram, get your details for a free shirt.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. By the way, if you haven't already, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, @TennishPod. This has been episode 50. I seriously cannot believe we made it to 50 fucking episodes, but here's to 50 more. Hopefully with a new sidekick host for the next 50.
The problem is that your record of sidekick treatment is hours and hours long now.
Well, maybe we can get someone that was born in the last 100 years as my sidekick host this time.
Again, I challenge just by eyeball alone to examine us and determine.
An eyeball alone?
By using your eyeball.
Do you think we have listeners that are just eyeballs?
Using your eyeballs alone. Well, I guess they have to be connected to your brain also, but...
Well, you said just an eyeball.
Examine us by sight.
Okay, I'm going to examine our asses right to the end of this episode because we've gone on long enough. I want to thank everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week for episode 51.
Thanks.
We'd like to thank Kevin MacLeod for his song Hackbeat, which we found on incompetech.com for the official Tennis Podcast theme.